be a long one.
Did you hear that? Glug, 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 glug. That sounds delicious.
Hey, we were able to squeeze in one more show for the year.
And we have this nice bottle of wine.
Yes.
Courtesy of my son.
Yes, Aidan, thank you so much. I love the label on it. It's called The Prisoner. The Prisoner, it's a cab.
2018.
2018 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon.
And it smells yummy.
It does. Look, we drink the cheap wine all the time, so this is not a cheap wine.
No.
So we are going to savor this.
This is our treat. This is our Merry Christmas, end of 20... Well, we don't know if we're going to see each other before the end of the year, or do this before the end of the year.
I think no, this is our last one for the year. This is it.
This is it. So,
for 2020.
Happy end of year and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Please.
It will be a Happy New Year. We just need everybody to put that out there. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Goodbye, old year. Let's see.
This is actually... Oh, my God. Thank you, Aidan. This is delicious. It's velvety.
Oh, it's smooth.
I'm glad we let it sit.
Yes. Give it a little spin.
It is velvety.
Let it sit on those taste buds for a minute. You get every little bit of flavor.
I'm loving this wine.
We're going to get spoiled now. We're going to want expensive bottles.
A $50 bottle of wine for every single...
You know what's
our
funny?
budget?
Yeah.
Our budget. Wine budget's like going to be $100 a month.
I remember I used to drink Sutter Home and Behringer, the Zinfandels. Mm-hmm. I can't even stomach them now. It's like, it's not the same. Now because I'm into these red wines now.
Right.
So those are just too tangy.
The only thing about red wine for me, my teeth soak in the color.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm out with friends and whatever, and I'm like going to town with my red wine, I go in the bathroom like,
That's why a lot of people drink it with a straw now.
If I drink red wine with a straw, I would die.
Hilarious, right?
It would be Ava.
Ava's here.
Ava's here.
I don't have do I have an alter?
You're on all the time. I'm the Gemini here. When that bitch comes out of the bottle, forget it.
I don't have one. It's just Carlene.
Carlene, who just had a birthday. Happy birthday
Thank
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carlene. Happy birthday to you. So many things that we're trying to absorb in one episode. Christmas, New Year's, the end of a very hellish year for many people out there. And this time of year is not easy for a lot of people in a good year.
Yeah.
So
we're really just sipping on this wine, though.
We're enjoying it.
Like, usually we put it down. I keep trying to put it down.
It's really good.
I know. Can we just thank the company who makes this? We're going to have to give them a little hashtag.
Oh, we will. I just took a picture of it. I'll put it up.
Hashtag the Prisoner Wine Company.
You know what that made me think
There's
of?
a drop right there. We're going to have to...
This is what I used to do to my kids.
My mom used to do those.
Finger.
My mom used to do those spit curls on me, and she'd do this, and it would stick to me.
Oh,
and I am not.
My mom used to do that. Yeah,
to get the dirt off your face and stuff, and
sometimes her breath wasn't the best.
Oh God, my mom. Oh yeah, it's
I love you, Mom.
Coffee breath, and my mom in the morning before you go to school, and she's doing this.
Thank God my mom didn't smoke.
I never
would have been hell.
did that to my kids. I'm like, you know what? You don't want my spit on you.
I tried doing that a few times with my kids, and they were like, they made such a fuss about it, I just didn't do it anymore.
Kids are much wiser now.
Exactly.
They're on to us. Did you have a good week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
I have a good week. I did. I can't say there was anything that I could complain about.
No craziness?
No craziness.
I don't think I have.
I mean, compared to my last 2 weeks where I almost went blind.
Yes. Your eye's good now?
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. I didn't have any craziness happen either.
It's been pretty... we should knock on wood. This is a real wood desk, so... Yeah.
I had a nice little week-long birthday celebration. I like it when it's stretched out.
It's funny, you're my opposite sign. So I'm a Gemini and you're a Sag.
Does that mean that we're supposed to get along? Or?
Yeah, I get along with most Sagittarius.
Sagittarians should get along with everybody most of the time.
You can hear me going...
I mean, I know some people that are Sagittarians that, to me, they don't really fit the Sagittarian mold.
I think a bunch of my girl cousins, like my cousin Bianca, who just had a birthday as well.
Oh,
she's a Sagittarius.
Yes, and
Hi,
her
Bianca.
and I get along.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I love her so much.
And my cousin Nicole. And who else? My cousin's wife Karina. She's a Sagittarius. There's a bunch of Sagittarius.
It's crazy how many. I feel like all I'm doing is wishing people happy birthday in December.
Right. A lot. My mom, she doesn't acknowledge her birthday.
Right.
You already know why.
Yeah.
But she's like literally on the cusp.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
She's
between a Cappy and a...
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she more of a Capricorn?
Yeah. She'll argue with me and then she's like, I don't even believe in this stuff anyways.
Okay. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's people who believe that the zodiac signs changed.
Right.
But they did not. Let me just tell everybody, they did not.
I do want to say that we just kind of did a random drawing for a t-shirt, a Tipsy Tales t-shirt. Just out of the blue. It's the end of the year.
Yes.
And we're going to do more of that next year. We're just going to do random drawings for people that have commented on our Apple iTunes because we can't really see anything else. And our winner is... Hold on. Okay. Hannah's Homes.
Woo! Hannah's Homes. You are the lucky winner. Winner, chicken dinner.
So hit us up and we'll send you a shirt. I'll put it on Instagram too.
Okay. You're the winner, lucky winner.
Winner,
okay.
chicken dinner.
So better listen in 2021 so you can win something.
I have a lot of people that liked our mug.
I love our
Not the
mugs.
masks, not so much.
I love our masks.
The Merry Christmas one. But the mugs, everybody's like, loves
they
the
like
mug.
the mugs?
Yeah.
Are they buying them?
Yes. But I don't know that you're going to get them before Christmas now.
Oh.
So that kind of sucks.
But
But if you want to get it, Teespring has free shipping for the rest of the year.
do it.
There's other stuff out there.
I'm telling you. I get compliments daily about our mask.
Our regular mask.
People are like, oh my God, I love your mask. Or where'd you get that mask? I'm like, it's mine. If you want one, you should listen to Tipsy Tales. And then go buy one. You know what I hate? Are you ready for Christmas? Have you done your shopping?
Are you a last minute person?
Typically, yes.
Yes, so am I.
I just need a couple more things.
I think thanks to the politics this year, my list was super short. No, I'm just kidding. My list would have been super short anyways. But
My list is typically short.
I mean, it's just basically the people that are going to come to my house on Christmas Day.
So I should come to your house so I can get a present?
Yes. It might be sage.
I need to get sage. I need to order sage. And then, because I do my intuition classes.
Right.
And January, we're going to do vision boards. You should come over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely need a vision board for 2021.
We're going to do vision
2021, please be nice to us. We have PTSD.
And then in February, I'm going to teach everybody about sage and how to use it and blah, blah, blah. So I need to order sage. We made pendulums.
Oh, really?
At our last one.
Yeah, I do remember you mentioning that.
That was fun.
We should do it. So how often do you have these intuition classes? You've mentioned
once
them
a
before.
month. We usually do it the first Saturday of every month, but it didn't look like that was going to happen for the next few months.
Right.
So it's more like the second Saturday of every month. We have so much fun, though.
It sounds like fun.
It really is. We learn. Well, I teach, they learn. And then now we're doing these cute little projects that are kind of fun. Mm-hmm. I don't know what we're going to be doing the rest of the year. I haven't thought that far ahead, but... We're not going to be doing art projects every single time. But we do fun things because learning to hone your craft is a hands-on thing.
Right.
Everybody's intuitive.
Right.
So anybody can come to intuition class.
Right. Hey, did you hear this thing about the Zodiac Killer? Like his, oh my God. I'm going to bring it up. Hold on.
Do it.
Do it.
If it sounds like it's exciting.
Well, somebody decoded, you know how his letters were basically coded messages? Yeah. Somebody finally, after all these years, decoded his message, and it was so fucking anticlimactic.
Oh, it meant nothing?
Okay, so there's the cipher. So you remember that?
Oh, my gosh.
We've never done the Zodiac Killer before.
No.
But there's the cipher.
We haven't done it?
No.
So we need to do it.
Yes, we do. Okay. Maybe we'll start out the year with the Zodiac Killer. All right. So this is literally what it said. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about... This took how many years for them to get this fucking message to catch me? That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise, spelled with the C.
Oh.
All the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing. When they reach paradise, spelled with the C again, so they are afraid of death, it's all one run-on sentence. It's not like...
I just realized I have probably the dumbest look on my face right now. I realized I did. I'm I could tell my mouth is open. My nose is kind of what the fuck? Okay.
I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing. When they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death.
Oh, dude, you aren't going to any paradise.
So they're still working on the other ciphers that are out there, but this one, they finally,
That's hilarious.
But is that anticlimactic to you?
Well, I mean, it's kind of he knew he was going to... They're thinking they're going to get something really good, and he was just giving them that's a fuck you.
I'm just I thought it was going to be something...
what, though?
I don't know.
Yes, I killed this many and you still haven't found all of them. There's 24 left.
Or where they put the bodies or something like that.
No.
It was just... He was just...
He's a mind fucker.
Giving himself a blowjob.
Right. So, just as we always have to explain... I'm trying to let them listen because as you were talking, at first I was man, I'm breathing really heavy. And then I stopped breathing and was oh, it's her.
It's okay. Oh my God. It's not as bad as it was on the last episode.
Oh, she's heavy breathing right now, not heavy snoring.
Through your whole segment, she snored so loud.
Was it boring?
No. It was not.
You thought about it.
I had to think about I had to think about what you were talking about.
No, it was my segment boring.
Your cave. It was the cave.
That was a good really one. Good. I didn't think it was boring at all, but that's me tooting my own horn. Fuck, and this wine is delicious. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just got another good swig. Thank you, Aidan. Mm-hmm. We are loving it.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump into my story. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give a trigger warning because, we don't do that often, but this one has some stuff that has some sexual connotations that are just I'm just going to put it out there. It's yucky.
It's not. Oh, yummy.
No, it's
yucky.
So, we're going to end the year with a real doozy here.
Yes.
All right.
Do it, girl.
Okay. All right. So I'm taking you all to Poland.
You don't mind if I start taking off my clothes?
You gonna start stripping? You gonna start stripping? Should we like pop that window open because
it's warm
I feel
in
like
here.
The heater just went up. All right. So I'm taking you guys to Poland.
Ooh, I like that we're going to different places.
Yeah.
I went to Greece. You're going to Poland. Maybe we'll get some Greek and Polish people.
So I'm going to Krakow, Poland.
Oh, Kraken. You know, I have some Polish clients.
Do you really?
They are so delicious.
All right. So if they listen, I'm going to apologize ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because some of these things are hard for me to pronounce.
They're like
I'm
my
not used
nicest
to saying
clients.
them on a regular basis.
Okay, Krakow.
All right. In November of 1998, Katarzyna Zowada went missing. She was 23 and a student of religious studies at the Jagiellonian.
You know, bravo to you for taking this one on because you're going to have a hard words in there, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I actually looked this word up.
Okay.
Jagiellonian.
Jagiellonian.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. University in Krakow. She was known to others as a very nice person, but for the most part, she was a loner. And she had very few friends. She always sat alone during lectures, and she lived with her mother. She also dealt with depression, so it was so bad that at one point, she tried to commit suicide.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah. So when she didn't show up to a scheduled doctor's appointment, which was a psychiatric appointment, I guess, her mom was immediately worried. So she reported it to the police. So I guess, like, in the beginning, it sounds like they didn't really, like, because of her psychiatric history, they kind of blew it off as, it wasn't as serious to them. So fast forward 2 months. So this was like in November, the beginning of November of 1998. 2 months later, it's January 7th. It's still pretty freaking chilly out there. And it's 1999. On the Vistula River, Miroslav M. You're going to notice that a lot of people just have their initials. Like, this case is kind of weird. There's going to be some gaps in there because it feels like there's a lot of stuff they didn't put out there.
Interesting.
But, so I'm just going to give you that right away.
Is it still going?
I think they caught their guy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Just wondering.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Oh, tailbone. Okay.
So this Miroslav M., he was a tugboat operator, and he went to remove what he thought was debris stuck to the propeller.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
What he expected to find was probably a branch or a tire, and instead what he saw was something pale and sack-like with a foul odor emanating from it. And then he noticed...
Tell me it had a head.
A human ear.
That's it?
I'll tell you why.
Oh.
Sadly, it turns out that the DNA test identified the remains of Katarzyna.
Off an ear? Oh, DNA.
The DNA.
Yeah, but they got DNA after it's been soaking?
Yeah.
In that water?
Enough. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. More specifically, it was her skin.
Oh.
And this is what the trigger warning is about, okay?
Oh, God. All right.
Because everything after that is very graphic in nature.
Okay. See, I don't even... Can I just tell you? I won't even watch Dateline or any of that shit because it's usually about girls that are in college, and I don't want to hear about girls that are in college because I have a girl in college.
Right. Yeah,
I just don't want to know about that shit. And then I don't want to know about a girl that married a guy that was this great guy, and then he turned out to be an axe murderer. I don't want to know about that
this is
because
why
I have a daughter.
Part of the reason why I stick to stories that are, number one, older.
Yes.
And number two, a little bit more zany, like kind of like the one I did last week, because these do trigger me.
Yes.
Because I have a daughter, and I know they trigger. So
I'm just saying, like, I can't watch that. I hear, my mom, she watched it. Oh, did you hear about? I'm like, I don't want to hear about it because I don't even want to think about it and put it out there because I'll just obsess about it.
Well, even the one Lori Vello that we did, which we do have to do an update on, and hopefully there's going to be more information that comes out next year. But even that one, because it's kids and it's just like it.
I obsess about it. Like I can't.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
So this is one of those. All right. So like I said, trigger warning. If this stuff makes you squeamish, just skip ahead to Carlene's story, because I'm sure we're going to be having plenty of giggles on that one. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. So her skin had been neatly cut away at the thighs and neck, reaching only as far as the left ear.
What?
Without the face and arms. No, just listen to the whole thing and then I'll explain it to you.
What?
Her nipples were also absent. There was an oblique seam going from under the right breast to the left shoulder. The coroner said that the body had been in the water for about 2 or 3 days. All right, so that description.
I just picture an X-Acto knife. I'm a visual, so I'm picturing this.
Yes. So they do have a diagram out there, and there are actual pictures of the skin. There is a diagram out there, though, and that one I'm going to post. I'm not going to post the actual pictures because it's too much. No. But the diagram basically looks like the full bathing suit, like the full body bathing suit, not a bikini, but like the whole, except that it kind of like goes all the way like this, like
to her chin,
up the neck and around the ear, one of her ears. It's just so bizarre.
So is it like he skinned her?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you would an animal then.
Yeah. And for it to, I don't know.
And why? What did he do with her face? Okay, keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just grossed out, but also having visuals at the same time.
The coroner said the body had been in the water for about 2 to 3 weeks before she was found.
I thought days.
No, it was weeks. Because remember, she was reported missing in the beginning of November. So here we're already in January. So she was probably whoever it was that had her, she was alive. For
a while.
For a bit before she...
Right.
Like maybe a few days.
See, I don't get it.
So.
If her skin was in the water that long, how was it even not like translucent or shriveled up? It was
pretty slimy. Yeah. Yeah. From some of the descriptions that I read. Okay. And like I said, there's information out there, but it's you kind of have to weed through everything to get. All right. A week later, Katarzyna's leg was found near a hydroelectric dam, also on the Vistula River, among some floating litter and tree branches. No other remains of her have ever been found. Some of her clothes have pieces of jeans and a flannel shirt with a square cut out.
Okay, that's so weird. It's so random. It's
very random.
I don't get it.
Some of the theories that were being discussed were that this was a copycat murder based on the movie The Silence of the Lambs. You remember how he has this obsession with the Buffalo Bill? Don't you remember?
I don't know. I guess I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I don't remember him cutting people like that, I guess. Wait, did he wear their skin?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
All right, because...
it's coming back to me now.
It's been so long, right?
It has been a long time. I only watched that movie once. That's all it took.
Yeah. I think I've watched it a couple of times.
All
right, so because what was described above was that it appeared like it was attempted a skin suit. Yeah.
Oh, so the person was going to wear her, like...
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs, so that, okay.
Wear
her. They did?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
No skin from Katarzyna's face or arms is present in the suit, as the suit only went up as far as the left ear, like I was explaining to you. It is not clear if Katarzyna was skinned alive or if she was already dead before her skin was removed. However, some sources suggested she had been tortured prior to death.
Oh my gosh.
It was concluded that her skin had been possibly worn by the murderer. Because and I mention it later, so I'm sorry if I read this again, but DNA was later found that was not her DNA.
I was going to say that a minute ago, but I wanted to see if you were going to mention it.
So it kind of harkens back to so Silence of the Lamb was loosely based on Ed Gein.
Oh, okay.
You know who Ed Gein is, right?
I don't, but okay.
We did.
I'm going to agree with you.
Oh, it was me and Yvette.
Oh, you guys did a story on it?
An episode.
Oh, I'll have to go listen to it.
Yeah, so you guys If you don't know about Ed Gein, we did do an episode. I didn't know it was
based on a real person.
Yeah.
Or did I know that?
Loosely based, but yes.
Oh, I think I did know that. Maybe I did. I'm going to go listen to that episode.
Yeah. But he took his body, like he literally dug up corpses. Mm-hmm. He didn't go like kill people.
Right.
He dug up corpses and made these suits out of them and crazy stuff like belts and lamps and chairs.
Oh, like it was alligator skin or
it was just
cowhide.
So then on May 31st of 1999, the same year, Krakow police received a call from an elderly man who said there had been a murder at his house.
Oh, no.
And he believed that his grandson had been the murderer. When they arrived, the police found a corpse of a man hanging upside down from the ceiling of the basement. The man had been beheaded. And the skin of his head and face had also been found outside. It had been sewn into a mask.
Disgusting. Can you imagine finding your grandchild had done something like this?
Yeah. And guess
no.
The victim was the elderly man's son, Vitalij. And the murderer was indeed his grandson, Vladimir W. So his grandson had killed his own father.
And is wearing his face as a mask.
Yeah, no, it gets worse.
No.
Okay.
He made him a doll.
It's so crazy. Apparently, Vladimir had even at one point worn his father's head and his clothes for a whole day and pretended to be him in front of his grandfather, who is pretty much half blind. He couldn't see. So he's walking around and pretending to be his son, this little man's son. All right.
Where do you find this shit, girl?
I'm telling you, it's just the words.
Are you on the dark web?
No, I am not. I am not. It turns out he had obviously had a seething hatred of his father, who had cheated on his mother. He was an immigrant from Russia. Mm-hmm. Cheated on his mother and left her with practically nothing, and forced him to move. His son forced him to move from Russia to live with him and his grandfather in Poland. Mm-hmm. So it was also possible that he knew Kasia, since they both studied psychology at the same university, however, a year apart. He never confessed to killing her and is currently serving a 25-year sentence in a Russian jail.
25 years. Yeah. Big whoop.
But it's a Russian jail, though. If he survives it, I mean...
I hope it's harsh.
The investigation also found that Kasia had skipped classes for 2 weeks prior to her disappearance. It was speculated that she might have had a secret relationship going on.
Like he was dating her maybe to earn her trust?
Not this guy.
Oh, okay.
Because nothing ever linked up to him except for the methodology of the murder.
So they think maybe he didn't kill her?
Yeah, they don't think it was
him.
Yeah, so the whole correlation was just the whole skin thing, like the fact that he had made.
How many people are out there doing that same thing?
Apparently, in Poland. Apparently.
Do you think we can make wine glasses that say "apparently"?
Yeah, we probably could. Not on Teespring because they don't have wine glasses, not yet.
Well, we'll find somebody.
But yeah, we have to.
Oh my God! I just got a great idea. Okay, I'm going to write it down.
Write it down.
Go ahead, because we cannot say it out loud. Because
yeah, because every time we do that.
But it's also something...
We sabotage ourselves.
Well, I just don't want the public to know yet, because I would want it to be a cool-ass surprise.
Okay,
go ahead.
You hear that, guy?
Our
guys.
Our one listener.
That, guys?
We don't want it to be a surprise to you.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead.
All right. Or we do want it to be a surprise to them.
Oh, yeah. We do want it to be a surprise. Jeez,
this wine is already...
I know. I think we're going to need some Jack in the Box tacos or something.
Yeah. Hopefully Albert's still awake.
Albert! Wait, we can do one of those Postmate things. Oh, that sounded like an old lady. We can do one of those Postmate things that the kids do.
Listen, lady, you might need an Uber ride home.
I know.
Or I'll have to pull down the wall bed.
I might end up staying the night. Or I'll sober up during my thing, because I usually drink while you're talking.
Right. I'm drinking while I'm talking right now, because this story is just too much for me.
And then I sober up while I'm talking because I don't usually drink so much, but this wine is delicious.
You usually have that huge flask of water too.
I do.
Yes.
Have my
You're smart. You're drinking water always at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you do have to drive home.
Yes. I am responsible.
But you usually don't drink as much as me. Because I know I can just go walk
You
to my
have
room.
been guzzling that from the beginning.
Wait, the story.
And my glass is smaller, by the way.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So,
wait.
like I was saying, the investigation had also found that Kasia had skipped classes for 2 weeks prior to her disappearance. It was speculated that she might have had a secret relationship going on. Her friends only knew of one male friend, so she was a Grateful Dead fan, whom she...
Oh, wait!
Sorry, guys, we have to laugh.
I thought you were saying she was a Grateful Dead, and then you said fan.
Yeah, she's probably not gratefully dead. The guy was a fellow Grateful Dead fan whom she had met at an event where people sold each other used music CDs and cassettes. And he ended up having an alibi.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right.
Those damn alibis.
I know. So fast forward again. So this whole case kind of just goes cold after. This is 1999. And then in 2000, DNA belonging to another person was discovered on Kasia's skin. It was compared to all the suspects and persons of interest in the case, including known sexual offenders, but to no avail.
Okay, hold on. Say that one more time.
On her skin, they found another DNA that was not hers.
So, like, 2 people have worn her?
No.
Oh, wait, I got it. One person wore her and had sex with another person.
Oh, that's disgusting. No, it was another person separate from herself.
That's what I'm saying. The person who was wearing her would be one person who had the DNA on there.
No, because there's only her DNA and one other person.
Oh, I thought you were saying there were 2 DNAs that were separate from her.
No.
Sorry, everybody. But that was a fun journey.
But they didn't find anybody that matched. There was nobody that was in the system at this time. Okay, so sadly the case goes cold until 2012.
I wonder if they do. I bet they don't do international when they do that.
Probably not.
I bet they only do Russia or Poland or United States or Mexico or, you know what I mean? Right. I wonder if they do international. Look.
What was that?
Hello? That was freaky.
Weird. She's saying don't laugh at me.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I apologize, and it's no laughing matter.
All right. So sadly, the case goes cold until 2012. So we go from 2000 to 12 years later, when advances in the field of forensic research had made it possible for them to get more stuff. They exhumed her body, and an additional autopsy had been ordered. Experts from the 3D Expertise Laboratory of Rokta Medical University created a model of injuries inflicted on the victim. They concluded that the attacker had used a sharp tool,
like an X-Acto knife,
to wound his victim in her neck, armpit, and groin. Ooh, those are like all the, like, I can't even,
My skin is burning just thinking about it. Like,
to inflict pain and cause her to bleed to death. Okay. Oh. I'm acting like this is the first time I read this.
Oh, yeah. See, you're doing a Carlene.
But just reading it again, like, So in 2014, an FBI representative to Europe created a psychological profile of the suspect pointing to sadistic tendencies. No shit.
Oh, really?
Really? He's sadistic? So in 2016...
Sounds like he's just curious. I don't know why. I'm just kidding.
If you can see the look I'm giving Carlene.
You know what sounds really good? Is that Chinese food that you guys got that one time.
I'm going to throw my wine at you right now because I can't even think of food
All right,
while I'm reading this.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of gross. I can't believe I am either. I'll think of food any time of day. All right, so go ahead. But I'm not thinking of, like, pork rinds. I'm going to be my...
If you could just see the face palm that I am doing with this woman right now. I can't even. I can't even with you, Carlene, right now.
That was disgusting.
All right. In 2016, investigators consulted with University of Coimbra professor Duarte Nuno Vieira, a Portuguese specialist in forensics and UN expert in the field of signs of torture on the human body. He confirmed that Katarzyna was tortured before her death and that the perpetrator was probably trained in the martial arts. So I don't know what that had to do with anything.
Okay, well, if somebody cut the skin off of her to wear her, more than likely they tortured her, because what person in their right mind? I would imagine that they would cut the skin while she's still alive just to be fucking assholes.
I mean,
Why am I thinking like that?
I don't know.
I think I'm channeling
You're freaking me out right now. You're really freaking me out. You're freaking me out.
Well, sometimes I get the answers while we do this stuff.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. He confirmed that Katarzyna was tortured before her death and that the perpetrator was probably trained in the martial arts, specifically one particular undisclosed variation.
What kind?
Undisclosed.
Assholes, don't leave us hanging.
Well, I mean, because they probably didn't want to put it out in the media because they knew what was...
What kind of martial arts allows you to do that?
That's what I'm telling you, that there's a lot of holes. That
that doesn't even make sense.
Even the pictures of the murderer, like even when they have snapshots of him being taken to court, they have a bar in front of his eyes, like a black, it's like, but there's all these pictures of Katarzyna out there.
Okay, show the victim all over the place, but don't show...
Yeah, and then of all these other people, they're like so-and-so M, or it's just very, everything's,
No.
Okay, so, on October 4th, 2017, so here we're all the way, this was in 1998, here we are in 2017, 19 years after the murder, police arrested 52-year-old Robert J., this is the guy, in Krakow, Kazimierz district,
This who they say is the guy.
Investigators searched his apartment and found blood in the bathroom.
Wait.
This is 20 years later almost.
So he's done this to others. Or he hasn't cleaned his bathroom.
Well, it was her DNA that matched up to the blood that was in the bathroom.
So wait, he hasn't cleaned the bathroom in 20 years?
Fucking gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's there not
But
mold?
I can't believe that in 20 years that he didn't do this to somebody else. But maybe he got smarter.
Okay.
I'm going to say he probably got smarter.
He probably has a farm somewhere that he does this to people at.
Ugh.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just I'm visualizing. Sorry. And Krakow's, okay. As a result, the bath and frame were secured for further testing. He was a person of interest in 1999.
Oh, bastards.
But had not been arrested. It just so happened that Robert J. not only fit the psychological profile right down to the weird martial arts detail, but he also had visited Kazia's grave in the intermittent years. And he also had a history of harassing women. Psycho. He'd also previously worked in a dissecting lab where he dealt with human corpses.
What?
Yeah.
So he knew what to do.
Yeah.
No, psycho.
He also worked at the Krakow Institute of Zoology, where he would observe the process of preparing animal skins. His employment was terminated the day after he killed all of the Institute's rabbits during his shift.
Why would he do that?
Because he's a psychopath.
Was he wearing them also?
No, he killed them. Robert J., which is all we get, couldn't explain his actions.
That pisses me off. Robert J., but this poor girl is all over the place. I mean, okay, in one way, I'm kind of glad they're not giving him recognition, because that's what I always say. I don't like that they give the criminal recognition.
Right.
The victim.
But it's almost like they're protecting his identity.
That's
and
what
not
I don't
hers,
like.
Which is kind of it's like a sword that cuts both ways.
Yeah.
The police detained him after a letter from the suspect's friend. The contents of the letter are closely guarded secrets of the investigation, so we don't even know what's in the letter.
Wow.
Robert J. was charged with aggravated murder with a particular cruelty. He maintains he did not know Katarzyna Zowada. But why was it visiting her grave?
Why are you visiting her grave?
And why was her DNA in your bathtub?
Why'd you kill her if you don't know her?
What?
Why were you wearing her skin
weirdo.
on you if you... Ooh. Well, he's like laying in bed. He probably like covered up with her skin.
No. Stop.
I should write movies. I should write those freaky ass movies.
You should write another Silence of the Lambs. I'm telling you, you should read the whole Ed Gein story.
Okay.
Or listen to that episode.
I'll listen to it.
All right. The court appeal agreed to extend his detention until September 6, 2018, while investigators gathered evidence. In December, Robert J. complained of harassment from the prison guardians. Oh, did I say gardens? Sorry.
I think you did.
I think the wine's getting to me.
Wait,
prison guards.
Do you think if Albert's awake, when we take our potty break, we can
If you say anything about food right now, I'm going to vomit. Stop. I can't. You can talk about food when we're talking about yours. You're killing
Some
me.
crispy tacos with mystery meats. I don't know why people aren't listening.
Everybody just switched us off.
No. Okay, go ahead.
All right. I keep saying all right. All right. Okay, and go.
Have another sip of wine.
In December, Robert J. complained of harassment from the prison guards.
Aww.
The claims were investigated and found to be groundless. No shit. He's whatever, motherfucker.
Big fucking baby.
Whatever.
Go around
Just
skinning
go
people.
back to your cell and
them.
rot to death. As of September, Robert J., you've made me drink this whole fucking glass of wine. Because you're disgusting. As of September 2019, Robert
You've
J.
made me hungry.
You've made me an alcoholic. Which, thus far, 2020 was not able to do. But today, I am an alcoholic. Robert J., motherfucker, has not been released. Investigators have requested... Oh my God, I'm so drunk. Investigators have... I'm going to blame this on Aidan.
Aidan!
I needed to drink so much for this story. Investigators have requested a closed trial.
That's it?
And, yeah, because it ends in 2019. So he hasn't, gone through the whole trial process. He's in jail, not in prison yet. So there hasn't been a...
He's only in a Russian jail.
No. He's in
he's in
a Polish jail.
Oh.
That was the other guy, the Russian immigrant.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you think of that?
Well, very demented.
Very demented.
Yeah, I don't know where you find this shit.
You know what? I'll go dry for and it was just, this week I was like, oh, I have backup stories. I have a story I'll do. I had a story because Albert had suggested it to me a month ago, and then we got sick, and then him and I were going to do a podcast because of the whole COVID situation.
Right.
And he's like, I'm just going to go ahead and do that story because it was so cool. I said, okay. And then we were like, nah, we're tired. We don't feel good. We're not going to do it. So I was just going to do it. And then I was like, well, probably on a later date, he'd probably want to join us since we bought this whole extra microphone.
Oh, right.
And we'll let him do that story. There. Yeah. So I had to find another story. And this was it. This was my last minute story.
It's funny because I have this whole list of story ideas. But then when I need a story, none of those sit well. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
You just have to fill it.
Yeah. And I just don't.
Well, and not to mention, Aidan bought us this very cool bottle of wine.
Well, this time I had to do it.
So you had to do a story
on a prison.
That correlated with the...
Prisoner wine.
Prisoner wine.
Which has a cool-ass label on it of this man. Let me just describe it.
He's in chains.
This man, he's like in a straight jacket.
A jacket? We have hit peak.
Okay, we should probably take a break.
Now.
A potty break.
You need a potty break?
Potty break, yes. I'm going to pee my pants every time I laugh. You didn't hear me say that?
I hate to admit that we're middle-aged women.
Yeah, I'm going to probably need Depends pretty soon. The dog.
Aren't you? Snorty just like...
That was perfect.
Did I say snorty? Shorty just snorted.
You know, this wine must be high in content. Ooh, I just swallowed really hard. Did you hear it? I swallowed really hard. I just got it. Oh my God. Aidan, you got your mom some really strong wine.
He's probably like, gross. I never want to hear that come out of your mouth again, Mom.
Nope, I'm never listening to you guys again. That was gross.
My candle says calm the fuck down. I looked at it right now, so it felt like a reminder, calm the fuck down.
To Carlene's story now.
Okay, Carlene. I've been waiting for this for a few days now. After you sent me that link to that video.
Yes.
Which freaked me the fuck out.
Yes.
And I will say no more.
You'll have to join in when we get to that point.
Okay.
So, I just want to put it out there right away that I got a lot of my story information from watching a documentary from WBIR Channel 10. Okay. It is on the Brushy Mountain Prison. Brushy Mountain Prison. Okay, there should be a song about this prison.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brushy Mountain Prison is located in Petros. Is that what it's called? Petros, Tennessee?
Petros?
Petros.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, Oklahoma. Just kidding.
How about Tennessee?
Tennessee, Nashville. Just kidding, that too. Okay. This is drunk history right here. Stop looking at me. Okay. All right.
This might be that point
scene.
where the actual things that are thinking in my head are coming out on my face. I don't know what I just said.
Say it.
Huh? I don't know.
You said this. Stupid. Don't you know Tennessee is its own country?
That's not what it said. It said, stupid. Don't you know Tennessee is its own state?
Okay. I'm cracking myself up with my own jokes. Okay. All right. Okay. And scene.
And go.
Okay. And go. Okay. So the prison in Petros, Tennessee, the state, was, I lost my vision for a second there.
That's how good this wine is. It's making
so
me wine.
You know what it is? It's that we were drinking it so like, nom, 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 nom. Like it was like.
For me, it was that story.
Well,
like I felt like I had
your story made me.
Can you hear me facepalm?
Oh my God. Okay, so the prison was open in 19... See, this is it with me going second. I've already drank half a bottle of wine. You drink the other half. And then I'm like, oh, I'll sober up during my story. But this wine, I am feeling it.
That's good.
Yeah, but then what I feel what happens is you're
what happened was
you like start yawning, so I try and go really fast.
Well, I drank coffee before this episode, so I will not yawn.
You're not going to start yawning.
I'm not going to yawn.
This is an interesting story, so pay attention.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I have my ears on.
Okay, so the prison was open in 1896. And the whole purpose of the prison being open was to make money.
Okay.
Like, so they're really...
That's the whole purpose of prisons now.
It is. It's the whole...
They've gone corporate.
So there really wasn't a prison, an actual building that was a prison prior to 1896.
Okay. Well, what's the name of the prison again?
Brushy Mountain Prison. Okay, so what happened? I may not even read from here. I'll just tell you the story. Back in the day, the Civil War ended.
The Silver War?
The Silver War. Let's just go with that.
Was it about silver?
I can't even say it. The Civil War. The Silver War. I don't know why I even said that. Anyway, the Civil War ended. And it left like a bunch of the southern states really broke.
Which, by the way, why did they call it the Civil War? Because there was nothing civil about the Civil
at all.
War.
It was how about they call it the stupid
uncivil motherfucking war.
Male ego war.
Okay. My dick is bigger than your dick.
My dick is bigger than your dick. And, okay.
And my dick likes slaves.
I know. And so you know what they did? Basically is what they were doing was saying, okay, so the Silver War...
Now you cannot say it.
I know. So that ended.
Okay.
And then what they did was trade one way of slavery for another. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Slavery? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not slivery.
Slivery for another. Because the southern states were so broke, they took inmates and basically made them slaves.
Yeah.
So these inmates were sold. They were rented out, leased out.
Oh my gosh.
To coal mining companies. Mm-hmm.
Really?
And by the way, these inmates knew nothing about coal mining. So it was very dangerous because they didn't know the field.
Right.
So the inmates, they were leased out and they were doing coal miners' work. And the prisons, which by the way, there wasn't an actual prison, were making tons of money. The state was making...
keep saying that. There's no actual prison, so
I'll explain. Okay. The state was making a ton of money off of this because they didn't have to pay for room and board of these guys, because when they would go and do these coal mining expeditions, mm-hmm. the private coal mines paid for them to have, what did they call it? Stockades. They built stockades and paid for everything. Okay. With that...
So they paid for the stockade, mm-hmm. but they also...
paid rent for the guys.
Okay.
Which is kind of a bum deal, if you ask me.
I'm sure it was probably cheaper for that
than having actual coal miners that knew what they were doing.
Right.
I mean, it was bullshit because
they're paying a salary. We're paying.
Right. And these guys, I mean, it's very dangerous work.
Right.
Coal mining is dangerous work. And so, anyway, because I'm skipping ahead, actually, because I'm not reading, I'm making sure I'm getting everything right.
Ever tell you that my dad's dad, my grandfather, died in a mine?
No.
Yeah.
Where?
In Mexico.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know. Did the Camine collapse?
No. According to my dad.
Mm-hmm. Or was it because he inhaled stuff?
No.
Was it because...
he was trying to save another guy and...
He died a hero?
Basically, like...
Is this the grandfather I'm bringing through all the time?
No, this is my dad's dad.
Oh, okay.
But he's another one of my... You had told me that he was... Because you told me I have two.
Yeah.
But he's the one I never got to meet because he died before I was born. Basically, he was electrocuted because he got tangled up.
That is heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
But he died a hero, really.
Because he was trying to get to another guy.
He was trying to help somebody else.
Yeah. According to my dad.
So that was probably his life's purpose.
You know the way my dad explains it? And I'm sure that this is a lot of because I've watched some stuff on different mines and whatever, but they lived in this mining town, and every time, actually not my dad, but my uncle told me this a couple years ago. He said that they used to live in fear. Their school window looked out towards the mines and this road that came down from the mines, and when they would see a particular vehicle coming down from the mines and towards the school,
then they would know.
They knew somebody's parent had died.
Wait, did you see that movie? I just watched it, and it was based on it was based on a true story where the mine, the whole mountain caved in, and it smothered and killed a bunch of kids in the schoolhouse.
Was it The Crown?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's based on a true story.
It is based on a true story because I looked it up.
Yeah.
That really did happen. That part of The Crown. I'm not saying The Crown is based on the true story.
Yeah.
But that part of The Crown, that really did happen.
That was sad.
Yeah, it was
that was
so sad.
And it totally made me think of...
But that really did happen in that place.
So my dad was only... I think he was 8 when that happened. And they saw the
I'm
car
so glad
coming.
you watched The Crown and you were able to figure that out because it would have driven me crazy.
Well, because you said the school.
Yeah.
You said the children.
Yeah, actually, I fact-checked.
That's how
I was fact-checking everything. But yeah, that one actually was true. That did happen. That was
it in Wales? I think it might have been in Wales.
Yeah, I believe so. Like a little town in Wales.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where they got their bad reputation in Wales because they didn't feel like they handled that very well.
Right.
All right. That aside, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. So that
Finish.
was basically my story.
No, I kind of interrupted it.
No, just that my uncle was like, the kids in the school would hold their breath when they would see this car just making it slow slog down this mountain trail. Mm-hmm. And
can you imagine being that kid and your dad is... You know what I think? I may be wrong. I'll have to ask. But I feel like my mom's dad or somebody worked in the mines also. I don't know why. Maybe I'm making that up. But in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, and they lived in a small town, so that's not so far-fetched.
Right.
But I feel like he worked in a mine too, but I could be wrong. But I think I remember that because I used to always get freaked out about them being in that confined space. Mm-hmm. And like, what if it caved in on them? Or like, they always had things about it damaging their lungs. Mm-hmm. And there's always all kinds of weird
I always
stuff.
have this vision of I have a good picture of my grandfather, but there was a picture, a very old picture, and it was kind of like a jacked up picture. It was my grandfather and a few of his mine buddies, and they're all standing next to like the mouth of a cave.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
but that'd be a cool ass picture.
Yeah. And I don't remember who had the picture, but I remember, I think my dad had the picture, but it disappeared out of their album. Mm. But anyways, that's how I think of my grandfather. Always. He's just
I would think of him as a badass.
Think of him as a badass too.
Yeah. Okay. That's so sweet though. Okay. All right. Back to this now. Anyway, in 1891, in the town of Coal Creek, the actual coal miners, were kind of sick and tired of losing their jobs to this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. To prisoners who are not qualified to do the job and for less money.
Right.
And so they're being pushed aside. And these prisoners, they were being endangered. That's terrifying.
Right.
But that's not why these guys are pissed.
And they're not getting paid for it.
Right. These guys are pissed because...
And they can't even send money home to their families.
No. And they're not getting any hazard pay or anything for getting that shit in their lungs. But that's not why these guys are pissed. They're just pissed because they're out of work.
Out on money.
Yeah. So they kind of revolt. Well, they don't kind of. They do revolt. And so the coal miners... Let me go to a seat because I'm just doing this by memory. In 1891, in the town of Coal Creek, the miners fought back. They raided the camps, tore down so they tore down all the stockades, and then they somehow rallied up all the prisoners and all of the guards. And then they forced them onto the trains and sent them away.
Wow.
Yeah, but that didn't go over too well. The coal companies sent everyone back. And then the governor sent troops with them.
Right.
kind of reminded me of what one person that we know now would do.
Right.
So, anyway, somebody I won't say.
And that person is almost gone, so
we won't talk about him. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, he sent the troops, and there was an actual war. Like, I mean, between these actual miners and these troops, they fought. It got bloody. And obviously the coal miners did not win. The troops did. But in the long run...
That's sad.
I know. It was sad. But in the long run...
It's almost like the union. Like a union strike, almost. Like they're...
Okay, so what happened, though? In the long run, it did not pay off. It paid off for the coal miners. Because these prisoners were writing...
Well, good.
The ones that were getting out were writing... Like, hey, this is bullshit. Like, we're not getting paid for any of this. We're working really hard. People are dying in these caves. None of us are qualified. We're being abused, blah, 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 blah. So then the prisoners were... Okay, hold on. I think I'm jumping ahead. That wasn't being done yet. Back up. Whoop. Why I'm talking? Rewind. At this point, it didn't pay because... publicity got out that all this happened, and they it was bad publicity for the governor, for the prison, that basically it was slavery. And so people were pissed about that. Like, we just voted out slavery,
right? And
you're still doing it with these
prisoners,
you assholes.
Which is basically what the prison system is now. But okay, I digress.
But not to this extent. This was bad. This was, I mean, come on. Where do prisoners actually go and work for free? I mean, besides picking up trash and shit like that. But they should do that. That's, like, good for them. But motherfuckers should get some... Actually, I believe in prison reform, so that could be something that people don't believe.
Right. But prison isn't actually prison reform.
No, it isn't. But I do believe in prison reform. Like, teach them some skills.
What's happening?
No. They should be taught skills. They should be given some counseling. They should be taught... I mean, there are some people who just are not reformable. But there are many that are. Many that are.
We can get into the whole recidivism and all that stuff.
We're just getting them stuck in these prisons.
Yes,
but okay, whatever. Back. Anyway, so bottom line is these guys are stuck in... Okay, so wait. They were... Oh, no. So it became public that they're basically slaves.
Oh, okay.
And the public didn't like that. So in the end, the state lost by no longer being able to rent out prisoners. And the state began to lose money. It had to build an actual prison. So this is where the prison actually came about. Play. They ended up in Petros because, okay, this is where they got smart. The prison decided that they were going to do their own coal mining and have their own plant and so they found a place where they can do their own coal mining and have a prison all on one site,
right,
and make money while doing it. And so they didn't have to rent out slaves because their inmates were working for them.
Interesting.
Yeah, so for free, and they were making a lot of money for the state. So that's what they did. They built this prison, and I believe the original prison was just made out of wood.
Okay.
You know, just like the piece of shit prison. The coal mine, I like this part. I wrote this. This coal mine turned into gold for the state. You're welcome for that. I should be a writer.
Coal mine is a gold mine.
Coal mine is a gold mine. You're welcome for that. There's a cemetery on site because... the prisoners who knew little about mining, and it is very dangerous.
Apparently.
Very dangerous. Apparently, it's a very dangerous profession on a good day.
On a good day.
But they were working in grueling conditions. Mm-hmm. They were being abused physically, emotionally. They were being neglected. They
didn't have to treat them very nice because they were prisoners.
But you should have seen. They have actual pictures of these prisoners laying on top of each other. It was so overcrowded. It was like they were all sleeping on top of each other. It's disgusting, the conditions that they were in. So a lot of them died in dangerous conditions, like because they weren't trained in mining. So a lot of them were dying.
Well, I mean, even
I just said a
people
lot of
that
them,
are...
Wait, I just said a lot of them were dining. In heaven.
Dining on the fumes of coal.
Yeah. Anyway,
but even for people that were familiar with the profession, it was dangerous.
Right. I mean, like you said about your grandfather.
Yeah. I mean, like my Uncle Kiko told me, like when that car would come rolling down they knew what it meant. So it happened often enough that these kids just knew that one of their parents, they were going to get pulled into the
because those caves
office.
Would collapse or dynamite would go off. I mean, it was just this. It's a very unpredictable.
Even now, even with all the technology that we have, even now it's still happening.
We have so many caves here that are not even. They're not like there's so many in the desert that we haven't even found all of them. Mining caves.
Right.
And people are falling in them and they're going dirt biking in the desert and then they're falling
because we have a lot of mines here in Arizona.
Right. And they haven't even found all of them.
Right.
And they're thousands or hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of years old.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. And then the ones that they do find, like some of them just have like people are stupid enough to go in them and then they get trapped in those and some die.
Right.
It's terrifying. Don't go in those things. Stay out. Oh my God. So my very good friend, her birthday's on the 21st. She's at Tombstone. We need to go to Tombstone.
In Tombstone?
In Tombstone.
To Tombstone.
We need to go to Tombstone. I'm so jealous.
So she lives in Tombstone?
No, she went there. I think she's there celebrating her birthday. It's on the 21st.
Really? She went to Tombstone to celebrate her birthday?
Yeah, I think she's celebrating her and another friend of theirs. They celebrate every year together.
Where's there to stay in Tombstone?
There's places to stay.
No, all I can think of is the birdcage.
No, but there is an inn, and then I believe it's walking distance to the town. Oh. I looked it up.
Interesting.
Because I want to go.
I mean, it's couple hours away.
Yeah,
like 3 hours away from us
Tucson,
right here.
South of Tucson. Anyway,
we're only an hour and a half in, and we've almost finished. Usually, it takes us 2 hours.
Hey, we've done good.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me get to this. Okay, so the new prison is built. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, so Oh, look at her go with her hands.
I am practicing a form of martial arts that I am not going to disclose.
She's voguing.
I literally am.
All right, so this is where some released prisoners had written some news. Remember I was talking about that? Mm-hmm. So released prisoners had written some newspapers of the conditions in which they were working. And they were like, dear newspapers, this is fucked up. They are making us work in these fucking hellholes and we don't know what we're doing. And so the newspapers were like, oh, you poor babies. What can we do to help?
This is when I wish we could do an episode of Drunk History.
So then they're like, we're going to write about this.
Okay.
So they wrote about it.
Okay.
About it.
They wrote about it.
And because they wrote about the conditions of the prison, of the non-existent prison, really, and what the prisoners were going through, then the state had to
build a prison.
Build an actual prison. Okay, so they built the most...
Be careful what you ask for.
Amazing prison. And they even have pictures It's on the internet.
I saw it.
Of the beautiful beds for all the prisoners. This is all new and beautiful.
It's basically going to be a Holiday Inn.
It is. It's a fortress.
And
And
you can't get out.
no, but did you happen to see the aerial view of it?
No, I just saw pictures of it.
The aerial view it's an upside down cross.
Shut the fuck up.
Not kidding. So,
Well, depending on which way you're looking at it.
Right. Technically, it's a cross.
Okay.
Let's just say it is a cross.
Okay.
And they did that on purpose. They need to bring some Jesus into their life.
Sorry.
We'll bring some Jesus into their life by building a building in the shape of a cross.
Thank you, Jesus.
However, now
You are healed,
Yay.
my brother.
healed.
Yeah.
MFA. Okay, but wait. You're going to see this kind of, I call it complimenting somebody, but smacking them in the face at the same time. You're going to see this.
Backhanded compliment?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what
actually
it's called.
a phrase.
I forgot. I was trying to think of what it
You made me
was.
laugh. You're so cute.
Did you see my mind trying to work it out?
I call this.
I call this. But no, I call this. It's not the backhanded It's not, because it's not a compliment.
Okay.
They're not complimenting anybody. Right. They're putting them in this juicy situation like, we're saving you. But wait. So when a cross is faced east, that's like a good, going to heaven, amazing thing. When the cross is faced west, that's not such a good thing.
Really?
Right.
I did not know this.
And so the cross they had faced west. So while they're having like come to Jesus moment time with this, we're making the building as a cross, like, aren't we great? Mm-hmm. But the cross is facing west. Oh, did you get goosebumps? So it's not the backhanded compliment thing.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Hey, we're doing something nice for you,
but we're smacking you in the face.
Right.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's what they did.
There's probably a word for that neither one of us can comprehend right now.
Right now, because we've had this delicious wine that we're going to have another sip of.
Hey,
Ding!
did we say thank you to Aidan?
Thanks, Aidan. Thank you.
He's like, all right, shut up already.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Okay, you'll see this happen again.
Okay.
So pay attention
Okay.
if you haven't been already.
Like my dad would say, put attention.
Put attention.
Put attention.
Put attention. Was that good?
That was perfect.
I know. I could probably do some Spanish about now. Like, quiero. Dormir conmigo esta noche. Esta noche.
Are you looking for a Latin lover?
Well, ¿dónde vamos a comer first?
I have priorities.
No, you know. Gotta feed me first. Okay. Okay.
That was so good.
Did you like that?
That was so good.
You're
High
welcome.
five.
You are welcome. I should be Spanish.
Oh my gosh. Is that it here?
I can't stop.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
I can't stop. I know Spanish. Okay.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Enchilada. Quesadilla. Do you know Spanish?
Tortillas con frijoles.
Ooh, you're good. Oh, I like the frijoles.
Huevos rancheros.
Don't. You're turning me on, bitch.
Oh my god. Thank you, Aidan. This is the best way to close out 2020.
We might get some listeners. We might lose some of our Hispanic listeners. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right. Oh my God, I'm gonna be... Oh my God, I have to pee so bad now. Oh, stop making me laugh. I'm gonna take another drink.
Ava is here.
Mm-hmm. Ava has approached the building.
Ava's in the motherfucking building.
I'm gonna make you read the rest of the story.
Okay.
Okay. Did I already say the new prison was built? Oh yeah, and it was in the cross. Anyway, okay, so it was made into the cross. We already did that. Symbolizes...
Facing to the west.
Oh, so it symbolized they are not worthy to go to heaven.
Oh, wow.
With it facing west.
So what if it's facing south?
I don't know.
What if it's facing north?
I don't know.
Okay.
But with it facing west, it means they are not worthy going to heaven. It almost means like... they're like in a purgatory.
Oh, okay.
But if it's east, that's like all holy, amazing, great. And it wasn't. It was purposely set west. So that's why people say it's an upside down cross. But it's not technically. It's just facing west,
right.
Which is not good either. Bastards. Like, that's
just setting up bad energy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did. Assholes.
I mean, they're setting an intention.
Exactly. Assholes. Okay, so even with the new improved prison, it's still riddled with violence. It actually is more riddled with violence.
I wonder why.
Inmates are killing each other. Even the guards are killing guards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Guards killing guards, inmates killing inmates. It was a whole thing.
That's craziness.
Crazy. The prison is nearly encircled by, okay, so it's encircled by like rugged terrain. Mm-hmm. So there's like wooded areas and rocks but people still try to escape. And they do actually, but there's like what I saw where they actually did interviews. You could see these YouTube interviews of actual residents up until the 80s and 90s, 2000s of escaped convicts. They would escape and their families would be like, please turn yourself in. But residents would be like, some residents in the early years, they would leave food out on their porches so that if the escaped convicts would show up, they wouldn't hold them hostage or they wouldn't do anything to them. They would just take the food and the clothes and go.
Wow.
Yeah. But then there were some escaped convicts.
Almost kind of folk hero-like.
Right. They weren't like, yay, convicts, you should escape. But
hey.
they just didn't want to be hurt.
Right.
So we're like, here, take this. Just don't hurt my family.
Right.
And don't disrupt us.
Oh, okay.
And so they left it on the porch just in case there was an escapee.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then, but there were some escaped convicts. And if you YouTube it, you can watch. There's interviews. It's crazy. But there are some that one escaped and he actually, this one, I want to say it was like in the 50s. He escaped and his wife asked for a divorce and he wanted to get her back. So he escaped to go see her. I think it was during the holidays. I'm not sure. Went to the diner that she was at and he ran his car through the diner.
That's the way you do it. Mm-hmm. Prove your love.
He didn't kill her. Mm-hmm. He killed a military person.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. And I think he killed another person or injured them. So, of course, he got more time. And it wasn't even worth it because he didn't kill her.
I thought he was trying to win her back.
I don't know. That's what they said at the beginning, but I actually assume he was going to kill her. I could be wrong because I've had some wine. But I do sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Anyway.
You do.
I know. I'm really good at that.
Hey, guys.
Anyway, And then there were some, like one guy actually did murder a family. So there were some bad ones that did escape. I believe they were always caught, though, so nobody really got away.
Okay. As long as the bad ones are caught.
I mean, they are. Okay, so get this, though. The prison holds, like, one of the most famous prisoners ever. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you watched it, right? Right. James Earl Ray. June 10th, 1977. James Earl Ray attempted an escape. He is the assassinator of Martin Luther King Jr. Mm-hmm. Now, there is some disputes. Did he actually assassinate Martin Luther King? Because when he was arrested, he confessed to killing Martin Luther King, and that's why they did not do the death penalty with him.
They should have.
I know, but they didn't, because he was like, he confessed, blah, 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 good for him. Oh, what a great guy, he confessed. But then, once he realized he was out of the woods with the death penalty, he then said, I recant that. I didn't kill Martin Luther King. I was framed, and it was this guy. Let me see where I wrote that. He didn't even give the guy's full name. Let me see if I
Bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, so he did say he was framed by the government. After several attempts to escape, he finally got his trial. Then he said he was framed by a man named Raul, but he didn't give any other information. Just this guy's name is Raul. So it was some guy named Raul who did it. He framed me. I don't know. I don't know who he is.
I don't know what his last name was.
His name's Raul.
Raul.
I don't know why he framed me. But
sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we believe you. But anyway, this James Earl Ray, though, he tried to escape a lot of times. And he escaped he escaped once with 6 other inmates by climbing over a fence. And then he was captured after 58 hours. Oh, he was 8.5 miles from prison. Wow. So the prison was closed in 1972 after a strike by prison guards protesting unsafe working conditions. And then it was reopened in 1976. By the way, this assassin was not in prison. He wasn't in this prison the whole time. They took him out. He was out of this prison for a little while, and then he was put back in. I don't know what prisons he went to, but he ended up back in here at some point. Okay, so the prison was closed in 1972, and then they were protesting unsafe working conditions. And then it was reopened in 1976.
So for 4 years it was closed.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing for 4 years. They weren't bettering it. That's a fact. Brushy Mountain
3 years.
Was the only unionized prison in the state.
Unionized for the prisoners or unionized for the guards?
That's what, because I thought it was weird, because when I was watching it, the documentary, it was almost like they were saying it was unionized for the prisoners, but I'm pretty sure it was for the guards. But
because they were the ones saying it was unsafe.
I don't know. It's the prison. It's not unsafe conditions for the prison guards. It's unsafe conditions for the prisoners.
Right.
So I think that's where I was confused.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, maybe it was unsafe for the guards too, because if they were writing.
Oh, it's going to say right here.
Yeah.
The union worked closely with state legislators to improve the working conditions for correctional staff across the state. Under Governor Lamar Alexander, attempts were made to squeeze the union out of existence, but its efforts were fruitless.
And we're still trying to get rid of unions.
Yes. In the following years, Brushy Mountain would face additional attempted union busts, but these too would prove unsuccessful.
Did you say Bushy Mountain?
Because it's a Bushy Mountain. Okay. Anyway, Brushy Mountain would face additional attempted Union bust, but these too would prove unsuccessful. Many efforts to close the prison were attempted long before 2009 when it closed.
Okay.
It did close in 2009, but we're not done yet.
Okay.
In 1998, Brushy Mountain Prison was administratively... Ooh, that was a big word. Did you see me?
I saw you glitch there.
Nope, I was thinking it out because I didn't want to mess it up. Joined with Morgan County Correctional Complex. So they brought the two together, evidently. With the joining of the two institutions, both prison... It's the first time I did that. That's a big game. The two of them became union...
One big...
Unionized together.
Union family.
Really got to concentrate.
They unionized.
They married together.
If only there was a word for that.
Union. Something. There should be a good word for that.
Union.
Yes. For that union. Okay, now back to James Earl Grey. Earl Grey.
I thought you were going to say Earl Jones.
It is said he haunts the prison.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. The most.
Okay.
The story is that after he killed Martin Luther King in 1968 and was arrested, he confessed, and that saved him from the death penalty, which we covered that. Once in prison, he changed his mind and said he didn't do it. But, yes, I know Shorty. But,
she said, okay, whatever.
Did you hear her? She did that. Like that. Anyway, after his several attempts to escape, he finally got it. Oh, so here's what, I don't know if people know this or not, but Martin Luther the King family really fought for this guy to get a fair trial.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I know, because he wasn't going to get a trial at all.
Right.
And then the King family was like, the dude deserves a trial of some sort. And so then they were like, do we have to? All right, fine. Fucker, here's your trial. But it didn't save him.
Darn.
I mean, it kind of did. He didn't die via the death penalty.
Come on, not by the death penalty.
Dun, dun, dun. He did get his trial. Oh, but wait. In 1981, he was stabbed by 3 inmates. He was shanked. Yep. And, like, in the face, everywhere. Like, they stabbed him good.
Yeah.
But he didn't die.
Okay.
Nope. He lived. And I actually think they moved him to another prison. And he was there for a couple years, yada, yada, yada. And then he ended up back at the...
Brushy Mountain Prison. Brushy Mountain.
Whatever I'm doing my story on.
Back at Brushy Mountain.
Yeah.
I'm just in love with the name. Everything
Brushy.
in the South sounds so...
Brushy Mountain.
Everything has cadence.
I think I'm going to need some Brushy Mountain.
We're going to Brushy Mountain.
I think I need to shave my Brushy Mountain. My Brushy Mountain's looking a little furry.
My brush is looking a little bushy.
Sorry, Shorty.
My bushy.
She's just looking at me like this.
She just scratched me. Just scratch me. I don't care.
Anyway, he did survive, and at the age of 70, he died of kidney disease and liver failure. I mean,
he lived to 70.
I mean, that's not very old, and I'm glad that he died of something other than the electric chair, because that would have been too easy.
He suffered.
He had to suffer. Anyway, okay, so I'm watching this thing, and they do an interview with this guy named Robert Gibson. Did you watch that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. There's this guy, Robert Gibson, and if I'll get to some hauntings that have to do with the Magnificent Seven.
Okay.
Robert, I know. Robert Gibson is a part of this Magnificent Seven, and he's still alive. He survives, and he is telling this story. He actually is like a story of redemption. And he was only 18 when he was arrested. He was illiterate. He was uneducated. While he was in prison, he learned, well, hold on. I think I need to.
He educated himself?
Not really, not yet. So because of so there was this warden that was at the prison that everybody loved. He was amazing. He was really doing a lot of great things for the prison, but I don't know if he retired or what happened, but then this new warden came, and he was nightmare. This warden was as dirty as you get. It's almost like he encouraged. Shawshank? Yeah. Yes, exactly. He encouraged crooked guards and turned the other cheek when it came to them beating prisoners. And the other warden was not like that at all. He was about helping the inmates and making the prison a good place. And this guy was not. Okay, so because of that warden, the bad one, he stirred up a lot of racial tension.
Oh, okay.
And because of the crooked guards, this Robert Gibson and 6 other very violent inmates decided that they were going to, they had somebody, still to this day, they don't know who smuggled in. Did you get goosebumps? They don't know who smuggled in this handgun, but they did do a lie detector on one of the guards. And he failed.
Interesting.
Yes. And he failed when they asked about that particular subject. But whatever. It looks like the other cheek was turned. Anyway. Ooh.
I'm going to just do this while you're talking.
Who's here with us? Who's here? Oh, I wish I would have had my speaker. Who's here? Did you start it?
Mm-hmm. It's on.
Who's giving Alma goosebumps? What was that whisper? Who whispered? Okay, one at a time. Hey, who showed? Hey.
Hey.
Wave your arms in the air like you don't care.
All right, so Carlene's going to tell her story.
All right, I'll finish.
Done.
Done.
What?
Who? Ooh, I got chills. Okay, I'm going to finish, but you keep playing that. You can keep playing that. Okay, so on February 1992, Gibson and six others make their move first by holding. They held up 4 guards. They took 4 guards hostage.
Okay.
And then they took the keys from the guards. And then they went to 2 of the cells. Come here, Shorty.
Is that making you nervous, Mama?
They went to the cells of 2 of the inmates. They took the gun and they shot and killed 2 of the inmates.
Okay.
Then they went to the inmates of 2 others, but those inmates did not die because they held up mattresses that blocked the bullets from hitting them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they survived. The guards all believe that the warden should have known. So they did an interview with the warden.
Okay.
And the warden was like, how could I have known?
Okay,
how could I have known? Because nobody told me what was going on, but they all think that he knew exactly what was happening.
Right.
And he could have prevented it, and he didn't. So anyway, since then, 3 of the men have died, but Gibson spent 4 years in solitary. And then he learned to read by reading the Bible. I know. And
sounds like a prison thing to do.
I know, but he became like the idle inmate, and he helped other inmates, and he taught them how to read and kind of like led them to God, Jesus, whatever, he reformed himself by finding Jesus. And then he says he was born again. And so by doing this, by helping other inmates, by educating himself, because I believe he was in for a life sentence, but they released him. They were like, he's been a good model inmate. He has reformed himself. We're going to let him go. So they released him. He like, when you watch his interviews, he's like, I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to, I'm thankful that I'm here, but I don't deserve to be. Like, he's just so grateful, but he worked really hard to be a good man. Anyway, he goes to the, other prisons, and he still continues to teach and help others to find their way and to be better. So I have to say that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Anyway,
and then, like I said, in 2009, the prison was closed, but it came with mixed feelings from the community. It was such a big source of income for that community, plus for jobs. So there were people that were like, thank God it's closed because it was dangerous and the inmates and blah, blah, blah. But there were others that were like, man, that's like a huge source of income for us. All right, time for the hauntings. Okay. So so there are a lot of like, people see shadow figures, people hear disembodied voices, they hear doors slamming, yada, yada, yada. Because they had to figure out, how can we make money off of this thing?
Right.
So they started opening it up for tours, and there you go. You're doing it.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's the first one.
I know. Sorry. And we're at the good part. So, okay. So I was watching Omar Gosh and CJ Faison and Sunny Deeds, all on YouTube, who all got some pretty fantastic evidence. And it was said people see apparitions, shadow figures, hear disembodied voices, like I said. Okay, so she's being weird.
Yeah, it was after.
Yeah, there's a story of this guy, Jack Jett, who was murdered in the courtyard while he's talking to his mom on the phone, and somebody murders him because he's a snitch.
What?
I know, he's on the phone with his mom in the courtyard, and they kill him because he was a snitch. So anyway, yeah, so there's that guy. Well, Omar is telling this story. He hears a hissing sound, and he freaks out. He's like, okay, that freaked him out.
Right.
So then he goes inside this gym-like area, and he hears this, it's a loud sound that happens, and then the battery dies on his equipment. And then at the same time, he's hearing footsteps. So he's like, okay, this loud sound, I think it sounded like metal, slamming. So like a metal door, because you can hear it on the YouTube. And then he's like, I hear footsteps. Do you hear footsteps? I hear footsteps. And then the battery dies on his equipment. So all that's on YouTube. So I don't believe it's made up, because it's all happening, and it's all happening while he's talking. So he's just as shocked.
Right.
And then there's a guy named Leroy who's known to haunt outside of death row. So there's this whole death row area, and he's known to be haunting it. He was stabbed to death in the courtyard. And while in the cafeteria, Omar catches a video. So Omar did you see this part? Oh, my tailbone. Okay, so Omar is in this big cafeteria-like area. It's empty, but there's like 4 chairs.
Oh, that's the one I saw.
The fucking chair moves.
But that wasn't even just it. There was some...
Yeah, okay, but wait. I'm getting to that.
Ugh.
Okay, so the chair moves. That's not even the first time the chair moves, but all right. So the chair doesn't just move, but it kind of goes flying. And so he starts to walk away. The chair moves in a dramatic fashion. So then they're exploring.
You're talking about when he pans over?
Yeah,
and there's
he
some,
pans
black
over.
shadow?
And he's like, oh, I can see it crawling. Is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, and then he shows it in slow motion.
When you can hear him screaming, like he totally freaks out.
He's like, oh, I could see something crawling. I could see something. And then he's like, I could totally see something crawling. And then they show it in slow motion. Oh, I got chills.
Yeah.
And you could see it. Yeah. It's creepy. And it's like in the hallway of the whole area.
So what was interesting, and I'm sorry, I hope I'm not getting...
No, go ahead. Well, that's why I wanted you to watch it.
Okay, so what was interesting is that they're talking about this other shadow creature that is seen in some other part that kind of walks on all fours.
Okay, so I get to that like later, but I'll do it now. So the tour guide talks about a figure that she sees. And so I believe that's where Omar is getting that. Right. Is that she is in this stairwell area and she captures this figure that comes out of the wall and then crawls out and then goes up the other wall.
I'm just like getting like chills all over my body.
And she totally tells this story.
And that's based on an actual prisoner that was like they kept in confinement.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear that part.
I did. I think on one of the other ones, like I heard that they kept it the person in confinement for so long that person was like walking on.
Oh, yes. You're right. Oh, see, this is why I'm glad you watched it, because you can remember that stuff. Because I was trying to retain so much information. But yeah, you're right. You're right. It was based on that person. Oh. You're right. That's freaky ass shit.
But so the only reason I'm bringing that up is because what he saw and that shadow figure that he captured actually looked like it was walking on all fours to me.
I mean, it's a blob walking on all. It was a blob walking.
No, it looked like there was like...
Yeah, I mean, it was doing that, but it's kind of like a blob doing that. But yeah, you're right. Because it had... I mean, to me, it looked like it was...
Almost like a spider.
Yeah. It was weird. You can go watch it on YouTube, you guys. All you have to do is pull up, what did I say? Oh my gosh.
Brushy Mountain Prison. That's what I put in.
Oh, okay. Or you could do like, I think he said it was scariest prison overnight or something like that.
Yeah. Or, it was like...
Something like that.
18 hours. Or 3 a.m. Something
3
about
a.m. 3 a.m. Scariest 3 a.m. Anyway, you'll find it.
I'll put a link.
There you go. Okay, so one of these visits, Omar is exploring with his friend James, and you can hear, did you hear on that one, did you hear the whistle? Where they were whistling?
I didn't. No.
Okay, so with James, because he was once with James, or twice with James, and once with a guy named
I can't believe
Jody.
He went back after that one.
He's gone three times.
Yeah.
And so there was one time with Jody and I think twice with James. Anyway, he was with James and you can hear it on the YouTube, on his video, on his audio. You can clearly hear the whistling. It's not from them. Right. You can clearly see it's not them.
Right.
Anyway, we should be getting a call from Omar saying that he wants to go ghost hunting with us. Anyway. Okay, so Omar then shows a photo from his last visit of a shadow figure. There you go. His viewers... Oh, no. Did you see this one? This was from like a couple years ago or whatever. Last time he went. And he was exploring and the viewers caught a shadow figure, but he didn't catch it. So he went back and he froze it, took a picture of it. You know how you can do that. Anyway, it is a clear shadow figure, which crazy. A lot of times I'm like, I don't see shit. This one is clear. It's a shadow figure. Anyway, the viewers saw it. He did it. Then he went back. And, okay, so as they continue walking, Omar says he hears footsteps. Then you can clearly hear the sound that sounds like, heavy metal sound. Like, it sounds like, to me, when I say heavy metal, I just assume it's like a door closing, a heavy prison door closing.
Right.
And then, where am I?
Like the sounds of a prison.
Yeah, and then you can hear a cough, and he replays it, and I can't say it's here. It sounds like a cough, but it's something.
Right.
It sounds like something.
Did you see the one where he lit the cigarette and just left it on the, and it was like clearly something took a drag.
Yes. No, I didn't get to see it, but the lady was talking about it.
Yeah.
And she saw it happen.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
That was the one that with the weird spider creature that pushed the chairs.
Then I must have gotten up and missed that.
It was directly after that.
Oh, I missed that. Then I must have gotten up to go pee.
Yeah. What a surprise.
Because there's times I just get up because I'm like, I'll hear it because I have it up loud.
Yeah.
All right. Damn it. Now I want to go back and watch that.
Yeah. Because, you know, like...
The lady was talking about that, and I'm like, I didn't see that part, but I'm sure it happened because she's talking about it, and he was talking about it.
You know, if you're not actively smoking a cigarette, it will go out.
Yeah.
On its
now
own.
These days they go out on their own.
Right.
They're meant to.
Right. And this cigarette, like and literally,
the cherry lights up if you take a drag.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
A big, like, huge, like...
It lit up.
It lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it does when you take a drag. It lights up. And it like...
Well, and then all the ashes. The ashes went like...
Okay, I'm going to have to go back and watch that part because I missed it.
Yeah, and then the smoke, you could just see it like...
Do you see why I sent it to you and told you to watch that shit? Because it was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That one was crazy. And I was making dinner when that one part where the chair moved and that creature moved and he was like, oh! Like he reacted like...
Well, that's what I mean.
Reacted to it.
Like, even when CJ Faison reacts, I can't say, like, he's jumpy anyway, but I can't say that he's being dramatic because, just because it wasn't caught on video doesn't mean he didn't see something.
Right.
It means he saw something and it wasn't caught on video.
Right. But the really cool thing about these YouTube vloggers is they catch so much more stuff.
Oh, than
Ghost Adventures or whatever. Stuff. Because the focus isn't always on themselves. And they have it like the focus is out towards, whatever they're...
Right. They're not the subject. The building, the ghost, whatever's happening is the subject.
Right.
Right.
I think that's why they catch more stuff.
And they're legit.
Definitely more legit than ghost hunters. Not like we have like a thing or anything towards ghost hunters, but
they're just more pure because there's no reason for them to be tainted yet. Right. They don't have to have 18 episodes a season. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to do that.
Right.
All right. Omar asked if
They're not trying to keep a contract with the Travel Channel.
They don't have to employ a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so Omar asked if someone was wrongly executed at one area of the prison, and he asked them to make a sound, and a loud sound was made. Do you remember? Did you see that part? Okay. When he asked for it to happen again, nothing happened. See, that's what I like. It's legit. Like, if nothing happens, then they're cool with nothing happening. Right. And then, but when something happens, something happens.
And not always. Like, not every, episode that Omar does
shows anything.
Yeah.
But I like that he's okay with showing, they'll even say, a lot of the things that we go to a bunch, and 1 out of 10 might be a winner.
Right.
So I appreciate that. All right. So the most
cinnamon.
I farted. No, I'm just kidding.
Carlene has cinnamon farts.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
I wish my farts smelled like cinnamon.
I didn't fart, but they would smell like roses. I smell roses. I farted. The most recent episode, Omar returned to the prison with his friend Jody, and again, he was not disappointed. While near some stairs and where the Magnificent 7 incident happened, you can clearly hear a disembodied voice on Omar's video. And I don't know what it says, but you can hear it. It's like,
creepy.
Like that. It's crazy. Then while telling the story about the murder, you can clearly hear, oh my God, you can hear a whisper. What? Oh God, it was so crazy. Yeah, he's telling the whole story, and then you hear, like that.
Like the shit that we were just hearing
but it was like that. It was crazy. Yeah. And I almost didn't catch it. And I was like, what the fudge was that? Well, in the hall area where there was a group of like, I think it was where, do you remember where there were like a bunch of orange colored cells? Mm-mm. Anyway, there's like a cluster of cells. They go through these doors, and anyway, a big metal, he goes in and this big metal door just slams shut on Omar. Not physically on him, but while he's in there, it scares the shit out of him. Well, in another area, Omar is surrounded by thunking sounds. So all these sounds are happening, and at one point you hear this loud pitch. To me, it sounds like a scream. And he's saying, like, I'm surrounded by all these weird sounds, and he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Anyway, and you can hear it all on his video. It's all right there. It's not like he's drumming it up.
Right.
He goes down this one hallway, and he hangs his light up, and it's so crazy because all I kept hearing was, his light's going to fall. Right. His light's going to fall. His light falls. And then there was another metal door sound closing, and he turns around, he goes to look, but the door that sounded like it was closing, I don't know if it closed so hard, like it bounced back open a little bit, or I don't know, but it was a clear sound of a metal door shutting. Anyway, the final Omar and Jody scene is when they go into the cell. Okay, so supposedly James Earl Ray was in a lot of different cells. They moved him around a lot. But anyway, they have like one particular cell that they tell people he was in, and they have like a little thing about the history of. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they're in that the cell that they say, I guess it's like the final cell he was in. Let's just call it that. Okay. And they are discussing previous experiences on Jody's video. They perform a spirit box app. What's that? The one that we have.
Yeah.
Necrophonics. Anyway, now listen, I think it was CJ that they were him and Sunny D were doing one. And I'm like, okay, it just sounds like a bunch of stuff coming through. But this one was actually answering them. It was making sense.
This is when Omar's with them.
Yes. Omar with Jody.
And we talked about this before, and I think off podcasts.
Yeah.
The reason that Omar gets so much stuff.
I think Omar is a sensitive.
Right.
And that's why he gets so much more activity. Yeah, they're drawn to him, and he gets more activity. I mean, there's times that I've thought CJ was sensitive too, and he attracts more. But I also, Sunny Deeds gets a lot. He gets a lot of channeling, and I don't think they realize it. But I also think it depends on who they are with and what they are doing.
Right.
So.
What's attracted to them?
Yeah, like they keep taking this one friend, and I know that one friend Spirit does not like, because I've heard them say so much.
Right.
So I'm like, they don't like your friend. Okay. Anyway,
is it the big tall guy?
It's what is it? Zach. I think his name is Zach. I can't remember a kid's name. But yeah, he's tall. He's a tall kid. He's a young kid. And I feel bad.
I'm not thinking of the same.
Oh, yeah, he's just this young kid, but they don't like him. He's disrespectful, I think, to them, to their things. He moves things. He doesn't ask permission. They just don't like that. Anyway, okay, so they're in this cell. They perform a spirit box session, and they are asking, they say... saying, so they're asking questions, and the spirit box says, I have a secret. Well, that could be generic. Then they ask if James Earl Ray is innocent. The spirit box says guilty. Who is what the spirit box says. And then, Who is? Who isn't guilty? Who is, like, and then it says assassin. So they're calling James Earl Ray an assassin. They ask again, and again the spirit box replies, assassin. They ask why he didn't get a fair trial, and the response was dead. So that's what they got. Oh, they asked who was here with them, and the response was me. Okay, so while they're saying this, I think Omar was talking about another time when the door just shut by itself. And as he's talking about that, the door shut by itself. And you can see it all on camera. Nobody's doing anything. The door shuts by itself.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're like, who shut the door? And then they say, me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so then
okay,
it happened again.
Me. Who's me?
Yeah, they go, do it again, and it shut again.
Right.
It was crazy. It was freaky. Anyway, so they got the door to shut.
And those doors are not, they're big.
They're heavy-ass metal doors.
Yeah.
You know what else that Gibson guy, is that his name? Gibson? Anyway, the guy, the Magnificent Seven guy, he was saying how they used to take, you know how they make weapons?
Right.
They used to like saw. You could see the saw marks on the bars still to this day of how they would try and saw he showed us.
That's creepy.
On the documentary. Well, it was on the documentary.
Oh, okay.
So while watching CJ Faison and Sunny Deeds, as they were exploring there was a loud metal door slamming shut. Because it sounds like that's the easiest thing to freak people out, the spirit does there. Anyway, CJ continuously feels like he's being followed. So he's like, I feel like I'm being followed. I think that's why he was so jumpy during the whole time. Anyway, he and Sunny both then go to the hole. Oh, this was on another video that he did. Okay, so they go into the hole where inmates were tortured until 1905 by being hung by their thumbs.
What?
Yeah. Up until 1905, they were hung by their thumbs and tortured in this, they call it the hole. And get this, the hole is under the chapel. Like, let's torture these guys. That's another one. Remember I was saying, like, backhanded whatever?
Right. So
it's not a backhanded
like
compliment.
Under like a holy area, and they're like in the hole.
I don't know. But they were torturing them under the chapel. So it's like we're going to reform them, not. That's what it's like. Right. Okay. So anyway, that's such bullshit.
Irony.
Yeah, so ridiculous. See, again, man-made rules and regulations and messing with people's heads. Anyway, we won't go there. That'll be on Carlene's YouTube.
Carlene, we're waiting for that YouTube.
Oh, I'll drum it up eventually. Anyway.
You don't have an excuse anymore.
I know. Should be doing it. CJ continuously feels like he's being followed. I already said that, so he's already jumpy. He and Sunny go into the hole. I already said that. Okay, the whole area is oddly under the chapel. Okay, see, I'm ahead of myself. He then does a spirit box session and says a lot of random stuff. I can't say that it's proof until they ask how were people hung in the cells, and it says fingers.
That's very specific.
I know, right? Not much happened to me. Not much happened in there until they went to explore an area with lights out, and you can hear what sounds like a metal door scraping or closing. So that was kind of freaky. They also heard footsteps and became extremely freaked out. Of course, I would too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think?
Then they could see something that the viewers were not. They kept pointing to it. It was almost like they were seeing the crawling guy because they were pointing to it like we should be able to see it. So, like when I show people like their loved ones, I'll do a video for people and I'll be like, there's your loved ones. Sometimes I will see things with my eyes that don't show up on the video. Right. And I'll be like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And then I'll be like, fuck, it didn't show up on video. I think that's what was happening, because they are pointing at something and they're like, do you see that? Oh my God. And there, I swear to you, I rewinded it 1,000 times. There was nothing there. But they were like...
But they saw it.
They saw it with their eyes. They saw it
with their physical eyes?
I believe it was with their eyes, because...
But they couldn't capture it on
I don't think they put that together.
Right.
That, like, I didn't see anything, but I think they saw it with their physical eyes. They didn't see it through the viewfinder. That's the only thing I could think of. Anyway, they also heard footsteps and became extremely freaked out. Okay, then they could see, okay, this is why I was late coming here, because I was watching the G Team, who's also done things with Omar and stuff. The G Team paranormal group went out, and right away there was a growl on theirs. Oh, and by the way, I think on CJ's there was like, or Sunny Deeds or whatever, there was a growl on theirs too. But there was a growl.
I hate growls.
The growls? I don't want a growl.
They freak me out.
I wouldn't be happy to hear a growl.
Yeah.
I think I'd be like, get the F out of here.
It sounds dark.
Yeah. Anyway, that was right away. So they had a tour guide, like a private tour guide, giving them kind of like the ins and outs of stuff. And so as they were getting this tour, that was happening during the tour. It was all happening very quick. Okay, so while the woman was speaking and explaining the history, an orb, you see this orb go right up the tour guide lady's back.
Ooh.
And it was slow. Like this orb just moved really slow right up her back.
I bet she got a chill when that happened.
She didn't. She didn't even realize it happened.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. But they did. And they pointed it out and they replayed it. I noticed it right away. Oh, and Omar, when he was in that cell, an orb went right in front of him and he saw it, which is this is where I know he's sensitive.
Yeah, because he saw it with his
eye. Yep. And that doesn't happen. I mean, everybody might catch something out of their peripheral, but to see it head on, no, that's a sensitive. Okay. When they get to the room with the chairs where Omar was, the lady spoke of Omar and spoke of the shadow figure they caught last time. They were, and the woman was validating Omar's experiences with the chairs and the shadow figure.
Oh.
Yeah. As they were moving to another section of the prison, so I must have seen it because I commented on
it.
So, as they were moving to another, this has been going on for a couple of days, so you gotta give me a break. As they were moving to another section of the prison, still in the private tour, she says she was taking them to a place others aren't allowed to go. As she says that, I'm going to take you to this place where others aren't allowed to go. They turn to go and you hear this laughter, disembodied laughter, and you can hear it on the video. And then you hear all of them go, did you guys hear that? That wasn't us. Did you hear that? So clearly it took them by surprise as well. And it wasn't them making shit up.
That's creepy.
Right? I mean, at least they're having a good time.
Right.
She then takes them to the stairwell area and tells them of the critter she saw that came out of the wall, hunched over and crawled back down the other wall. Omar also stated he saw the crawling figure on the ground while filming and tried to show it in slow motion on his video, which that's the second time he saw it. That's not in the chairs. That's down a hallway that he saw it.
That's creepy.
Yeah. So, she takes them to the Magnificent Seven murder area and says that's where they can smell cigarette smoke, and states that's where Omar caught the cigarette. Yeah. The tour guide stated there is a woman ghost, although, okay, so even in the EVP, the necrophonic or whatever, you will hear a woman occasionally on their recordings, and there were no women prisoners there. But I guess she says that before the prison was built, a family owned that property or something, right. And they believe that woman is part of that family. So that's the woman that people hear. So they believe in this courtyard that the dog is very tired. She loves to communicate with people. So she loves music. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, what kind of music? She loves Ozzy Osbourne.
Really?
Yes. And so
she's like, Crazy Train.
Yes. And so they said if you used dowsing rods, she will jam with the dowsing rods to show you that she's jamming. And so the woman was like, I have my dowsing rods. We'll try it. So they brought music, and because of copywriting, they had to kind of play over Ozzy, but you can hear Ozzy. You know how, I don't know. What's that?
War Pigs.
Where he's like, where he does that. That laughing part.
Oh, that sounds like Crazy Train.
Crazy Train. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So so she starts, you see, she's holding the dowsing rods. She is not moving them. And they are going crazy. And they're all having a great time because they see her having a great time.
Right.
And so clearly that woman ghost, or from actually, if you want to know what Carlene, the medium, was saying, I think it was a bunch of the male prisoner ghosts that were actually having a good time dancing.
Interesting.
But who am I? That's just what I was hearing. But I don't know. I don't know anything. Anyway, that's what they were doing. And then I was like, okay, I have to cut myself off. There's a lot here and I need to go.
Interesting.
It's amazing though, right?
Crazy.
It's a good one. That was a good prison story. Thank you, Aidan.
Yes.
For inspiring me.
That. Mm-hmm. Yes, and getting us very buzzed.
Yeah. See what I mean, though? As soon as I'm done reading my story, my buzz wears off.
We're at 3 hours.
Are we really?
Yeah.
My buzz wore off, so that's good.
So really quick, we're just going to close out.
Yeah.
That was an amazing story.
Thank you.
This was the best bottle of wine we've had all year.
It really was. Thanks, really Aidan boy.
Thank you to Aidan.
Thank you, Aidan.
Thank you, Aidan. That was amazing.
It was a good birthday present. Happy New Year.
And I feel like I got to reap the benefits of your birthday present.
Oh, but I am happy to share it with you. It would be no fun to drink that alone. And he bought it with the intention of us drinking it together.
And then we got to hear this amazing story.
Okay, this story turned out to be pretty fun.
It was pretty good.
I was pretty impressed.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, that is our last podcast for the year.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see what 2021 brings us.
2021 is going to bring us even more listeners, more fun.
That's going to be in our vision board.
We're going to travel. We're going to be putting up a lot of cool ass video.
I will become more of an expert on the whole video thing.
I will also try to become better at helping. Sure. I'm just a
Sounds
medium.
Good.
Listen, you want me to talk to dead people and learn technology? It's one or the other.
That's funny. You guys, we appreciate you. You know, I know it's been a rough year for a lot of you. I hope we've been there for you guys as much as you guys have been there for us, because we appreciate that you guys have literally been listening to us. This is cathartic Truly. For us.
We love getting together and doing this.
Yes.
So thank you. Please keep
listening. In the
listening.
process, we've made you laugh at some point.
I mean, we think we're funny.
If not, roll your eyes. Go, oh my God.
We think we're hilarious. I hope you think we're funny. Otherwise, we're just dumb.
At some point, we'll get that our first ghost hunt video out there. It's probably not going to be not out until the first of the year. We're trying.
Right.
It's been slow going with everything that's going on.
We're not even going to tell you our big plans until we do them.
Yeah. We're going to start zipping our lips.
Look, it looks like our little guy is bleeding.
It does. He's like, I have my period.
Oh my God. I was going to go with more like shot.
Okay.
You went with that. Okay, who's gross now? All right,
guys.
Hey, remember, you can get your boom shakalaka from Carlene.
Yeah, hit her up at Carlene.spirit.
You look great.
Like my hair? Look at that. Check that out.
Honestly, if you want to get 2020 off your vibe, come see me. We'll boom shakalaka that shit off of you.
And she can do it online as well.
We can virtually take that shit off of
Facebook, Zoom.
Yes. FaceTime.
Over the phone.
Over the phone. Don't even have to see me. You don't even have to look at this mug.
And she accepts Venmo.
PayPal. Zelle.
Yep.
Apple.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yep.
We got it.
Yep.
But not credit cards, but, you know. Wah, wah, wah.
All right, guys. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. Did you think I was not going to sing?
Oh, my God. After the last time, we couldn't get the cats away from the door.
I think I'm going to have my own concert. You're welcome.
We just want to send a huge hug out to everybody.
We do.
We're just like virtually hugging you guys right now.
I'm not. I'm like licking your faces right now.
She's getting very inappropriate. I have to call HR. All right, you guys.
Oh my.
I'm Alma.
I'm Carlene.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.